what you want to do in your profession. And so there was a lot of finagling, really, that had to go on and still has to go on, because I'm still doing all those things and more, because back then when I first started writing and had all of these contracts to fulfill and I was working my corporate job, I was not pastoring then. So now I have the pastor role to be able to carry as well. And so being able to take care of yourself is very important throughout the process. Thankfully for me, everything I was doing, these were things that were dear to my heart. These were not things that were stressing me out. They still don't stress me out. So being able to write was very therapeutic for me. And so reading and writing and listening to music, I love good gospel music, inspirational music, doing that. I love spending time with my grandchildren. I love spending time with my children. My husband and I are best friends. We spend a lot of time together. You know, to get away is us getting away together. It's never me needing to leave him and leave, you know, everything behind and be by myself. We actually enjoy being together and spending time together. So that's always a blessing, you know, to be able to have that family support and to have that type of family unit where you get along with who you share your house with, so that you don't necessarily need to get away from your house in order to get some peace and quiet. And so thankfully, the things that I do, as I said, are not very stressful to me. These are things I love to do. And so it does not cause me to feel like I'm being overwhelmed or like, you know, I need a break away from this. I absolutely love what God has called me to do.
That is so awesome. I mean, just the fact that you're a family woman, you've tried really hard not to neglect your family, even in corporate America, and even starting your own publishing company. And so I absolutely love that. And I think I love it because I'm in corporate America and I'm kind of in this place where I'm trying to develop something of my own, like a lot of younger people are, you know, millennials and Gen Z or whoever. We're all trying to work in corporate America, work our jobs and start something, you know, that God has called us to do, you know, something where we can bring light into the world. And for you to actually have already done that and be walking in that and walking in your purpose is something we definitely, it's such a blessing. It's something we love and we promote and we love to see here at SELFi. So that's great. And I love that you mentioned prioritizing your time and getting your priorities straight, you know, and how a lot of people do therapy a lot of different ways. And luckily or a blessing that you are a writer. So your therapy is actually writing that down, putting that in books. Yeah. It seems like because you allow God to use you in your therapy while you were medicating yourself in those areas, you've been able to help millions of people through your writings as well. And the creativity and the publishings that you've been able to put out to the world. Mm-hmm. So that's beautiful. So when circumstances get confusing for you, I know you talked about the importance of prioritization. What would you say keeps you grounded?
You know, I think that when we really think about the things that we have been blessed to achieve, and when we really see them as a blessing, meaning it's not us, but God has favored us, it keeps us grounded. It keeps us, because God gives and God takes away. And so when you realize that everything you are, everything you have achieved is because of Him, and life is fragile, life is fleeting, time passes by so quickly. It seems like, just 5-10 years ago that I was your age, and it's been way longer than that, but time just passes by so quickly. And so when you begin, thank you, when you begin to really recognize that and embrace that, I think that it does something to humble you to a certain point, to say, tomorrow is not promised to me. What the things that I have today, I may not have tomorrow. Nobody saw COVID-19 coming. Nobody knew at the end of 2019 that this is how we were going to spend half of 2020 or longer than half of 2020. dealing with what's going on. And so things happen so quickly, and we're not in control of what happens. We can't control day and night and rain and sunshine. None of that is it's all in God's hands. And so the thing I believe that keeps me grounded most is that I'm grateful. And when we become grateful and thankful for everything that we have, and when we give God glory for everything that we achieve, I think that in and of itself is very humbling, because you take yourself out of the equation, because it's not you on your own that have done these things, but it's because of the grace of God. And had it not been for his grace, none of this would have happened. And so I think that's the thing that keeps me grounded.
That's awesome. Absolutely. How many children do you have?
We have 3 children. We have 2 daughters, 1 son, all adults. All adults, all out of the house, grown. Both daughters are married, and starting their own families. And so, it's a blessing. The empty nest is not, I hear people told me, when you get to the empty nest, you're going to be sad. I think the thing is, when your children are doing well, when you have raised them properly, they're doing well, they are succeeding in life, where they are. It's not like they're, out in the world lost, or they're, sick or in jail or, in trouble or anything like that. God has been very good, and has been very just kind and graceful. Has really extended his grace to me and my family, and with our children. They're all doing well. They're all serving God, and you can't ask for better than that.
Amen. And how many grandchildren do you have? You don't look like you have children, but I know you have some.
Yeah. We have 6. We have 6 grandchildren, all total. Our son has 3 children, and then our baby daughter has 3 children. Our oldest daughter, she and her husband have not had any yet, but they are working on that now. So we're, maybe by this time next year we'll have 7. I don't know.
That's awesome. So you've raised your children to be wonderful citizens in society, and your grandchildren are, being the glory to you, a real testament of you being a great mom and a great grandmother. So what advice would you give to parents who are trying to make it, trying to, have that self-care, the self-love and self-empowerment? And then what would you give to some of the single ladies and single guys out there who, want to start a family someday?
Yeah. And marriage is beautiful. Marriage is a wonderful thing. But I think that in order for you to really experience that, you have to be willing to allow God to lead. You can't be on your own picking out, by what you see with your eyes or what you hear with your ears, just, picking out somebody and deciding, hey, this is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. Because when you really look at marriage as, something that you go into, and it is supposed to be a lifetime commitment, a covenant that you make, then you have to take it a little bit more seriously and realize that the layers are deeper than what you see on the outside. And so for me, and I have made my, relationship mistakes in my life. Most young people do, make some mistakes along the way in their life. But the one thing that I can say with all honesty is that I only consider one relationship that I have connected with and been in that was just an utter mistake. And that's the only relationship that I never prayed about. And so it was just a relationship that I never consulted God to see, is this, a relationship for me to be in, even if it was just going to be for a season. We have the season, reason, lifetime statements. They go out. Some people come in your life for a reason, some for a season, some for a lifetime. I didn't ask about any of that. That relationship was one I should have never gotten into, period. And so there are people like me out there like that who have done that. You've learned from that and you move on from that, but you can also look back and really recognize, I can't blame him. I can't blame God. I can't blame my parents because I didn't consult any of them. before really going into this. And so I believe, as cliche as it may sound, that it is very important. It is vitally important, especially for Christian people, those of us who know God, to consult Him and allow Him to lead our lives, and not just consult Him, not just talk to Him, but listen to Him. Because if we ask God, is she the right one or is he the right one, but we don't listen for his answer, or we're not going to pay attention to his answer, we'll still find ourselves in a predicament that we never had to actually ever approach or be a part of. And so I believe that is just very important. I remember as parents, I believe this is important for all of us, but I remember praying, over my children, because even the mistakes that I had made in life, I didn't want that to be my daughter's testimonies. I didn't want them to, have to deal with those things. And so I was really prayerful, and I prayed over them that God would really allow the man that he had for them to find them, and for them not to be wayward, for them not to have to be in a whole lot of relationships before they get to the right one, and all of that. And God was just really merciful, because they married some amazing men. Both of our daughters married some amazing men. And so I'm very grateful for that. And my prayer is this, and this is a continuous prayer. You can't pray this one time and let it go. But my prayer is continually for them, that they will continue to walk together in unity with the men of God that have been placed in their lives, and that God will, give them a lifetime of love and marriage with that person. And so I believe that as parents, and those of us specifically who know God, we owe that to our children, to really pray over them and to ask God for exactly what it is that he wants for our children, and that he will direct them down the paths so that they will come in to communion with whomever it is that he has specified for them.